Hi everyone, hi, it's Gill Fountain here from 38 Partnership. I am a brand and marketing company. I work with business owners to develop bespoke websites to their liking. We don't tend to use templates at all. And as we're building the websites, we build in the visibility, the SEO as much as we can. There's an awful lot to do afterwards, but as we go, we build in all of these areas that will increase the visibility of everybody's websites. I started my business 30 years ago. It was a long time ago. My children were very small, and I started my business as in the toy industry, toy and outdoor play. And today I'm going to be talking to you about using what we've got and adding some to increase our visibility. Now, why did I start on this subject this morning? Something triggered it off this morning, and I just felt, oh, I know what it was. I was on Instagram. This morning, and I'm working with a lovely, lovely company at the moment, and they do very high-end lighting, lampshades, lamps, all sorts of lighting. And there was one particular light that I particularly like. Now, I'm trying to force myself not to spend a fortune with this company because their goods and their products are so nice. But one particular lamp that I saw in their collection was a globe hanging from a light hanging from a chain. And they'd put it in amongst some other bits and pieces on a table, and I spotted it. And I thought, wow, that would make a lovely lamp, a lovely light from a high ceiling, from the top of a stairway. And I was looking around Instagram and I saw it again. But this particular globe lamp, this time, exactly the same one, was hanging in an image, and it was hanging from a high archway. The archway looked over the countryside, and there was this globe, this lamp, hanging from this archway. It was so visual. It just sort of captured the whole thing. And it had something like, I don't know, 1,500 likes and God knows how many comments. And, you know, it had really taken people's attention, a real eye catcher. And when I looked at the one on that my client had put up himself, it had 6, 7 likes. And I thought, oh, do you know, that's such a shame, because obviously the other company had, well, for a start, they had far more gathering, you know, far more people, far more followers. Absolutely, the numbers were much higher. But they'd sort of dressed the stage with this particular image, and it started me to think, you know, what we're using now, what we've got at our disposal, and by adding a little bit, how we could increase our visibility. That's what started it off. But then I started thinking deeper into what we used to do as opposed to what we do now. But honestly, some people are still working in the old times, as it were. So, for instance, how many of you receive a PDF, a letter, and it hasn't got any logo on it? There's no type of branding on it. I used to be a chairman for a young people's charity. And when I first started in this charity, they used to duplicate typed out pieces of typing, you know, letters, and they'd staple it all together and they would send that out as their annual report. They didn't have a logo, they didn't have any branding, they never used any, you know, there was nothing in marketing at all that they used. It would just be hand typed out, stapled, photocopied, and sent out to all the different people that they needed to, including the mayor, including the councillors. That's how it went out. By the time we'd got in there for a couple of months, we'd got it all branded, it was marketed, the annual report went out. In actual fact, one of the bigger charities copied our our way of doing things, and we ended up doing the AGM, the annual report for them as well, because it was instantly recognizable as that was the charity, that was the caliber, that was the standard. And that's the thing, is if you send out information that you haven't got your branding on, you're not saying, you're not putting your stamp on it, saying this is me, this is what I do, then people don't give you the credibility, and they then feel that you are of lesser value. So the higher you can get the quality that you send out, the higher the quality that people see you, that read about you, the higher your prices are. And in actual fact, if you underprice yourself, people can't understand why you've done it. They question what's wrong, because what they're seeing about you is they've got this opinion in their heads, they've got this idea in their heads about what the value should be. And this went back to the toy days when we used to do our own shoots. We used to photograph our own products, and we quite often used to make the products look a lot better than what they were, to the point we had to tone it down a little bit, because what started to happen was we were in the settings, we were in the countryside, we were in the gardens, the photography was all done with the children and the action shots. But what was happening were the people's expectations when they received what was actually a pile of poles on their doorstep delivered, the climbing frame, for instance. They would get delivered a pile of poles with a bag of screws and an instruction sheet, and it didn't reflect what we saw, what we had in our brochures. So we did, as we made the sale, we would say to everyone, when this turns up, you are going to be very disappointed in what you see, because it is only wooden climbing frames. It is in bits. It is a kit form. It doesn't come completed. And as you put it together, you will see how the whole thing starts to take shape. So there's various ways that you can add value, and that's what it is you're adding value to what you're giving your clients. And you're not only adding the value for them because they receive a lovely brochure or a branded PDF, but you're adding value to your own services. You're adding credibility. And it is actually quite easy to do. You've already got the basis, you've got the knowledge in your head, on your website, wherever it is, you have got the knowledge, you know the service that you can give people, you know the quality and the results and the expertise that you provide, but they like to see it packaged nicely. So I made a few things. It's about enhancing what you're giving people so that they see the service that you're giving of real value, as if you've gone that extra mile. And actually you will have gone the extra mile, but it's not tedious to do. That's what I'm trying to say. Gaining this visibility, being seen, the visibility of the caliber that you want to be seen is quite easy to do if you know how. So say for instance, you're selling clothes, you're selling a product. So we'll go back to the lamp, the lighting. They set the scene. They took the shot. The shot. It wasn't any old shot. It wasn't murky. It wasn't blurry. It was a sharp shot with a view in the background. They'd set the scene. They dressed the scene. They were able to sell that particular item, the same item as the other one, a lot more expensive at a higher price, because visually it looked a lot better. It is the same as you will see, for instance, on models. Say you're selling clothes. Say you're on one of the like Amazon or eBay or something, and you're looking at clothes and you see a dress you like. You are going to go for the dress that's on the model more than the one that's on the coat hanger. The model will be the one that set the scene. They've dressed the stage. the coat hanger on the back of a door with the dress hanging up on it or a coat is not going, it's going to devalue it. It's not going to achieve the same price. And there's other things, a bio, when you do your bio, for instance, on any of these platforms that we've all got our bios on, when you send bios out, if you use the search terms, the keywords that your client base is going to look for, if you've done that research, then that's going to attract your client, the clients that you want, the clients that are going to pay those extra prices, the clients that you like working with, that you want to attract. Now, what else? There's keywords. I'm going to go back to a book at the moment. I was going to talk about the book. So it is about looking at your goals, looking at what you want to achieve over the next 2 quarters, because we are into, we're halfway through the year, and seeing if what you are sending out can be enhanced. Can it have that extra bit of branding put on it? Can it have the logo, for instance, in the right place? It's not hidden. It's not tiny so people can't see it. We will be going back to business cards eventually when we start going face to face again. Can people read your telephone number? It's all those things that make such a difference when it comes to gaining clients. So the other thing that I was going to talk about was about a lovely thing that I received today. And this has got it is the same subject, believe it or not. Let's see, where do I start on this one? It's a book. I'm going to go through the process. A little while ago, I was talking to a member of WEN, Mertha Dubois, and she talked to me about a book that she was thinking about doing. She was doing I can't even say it. She was compiling a book with several authors. I do know some of the authors. 3 of the ladies came onto my other group, my Building Tomorrow Today Facebook group, and One Woman's Voice. And we had a presentation, a discussion about the book. The book launch was going through, and Mertha got in whispered messages, one of a few now, international bestseller on several counts, and I can't remember the different ones, but she did get it. And she told me about the book, and I met some of the authors, and then she invited me to a launch party. So I got an invite to the launch party. I was very excited, and it was such a lovely evening. And then a little bit later, I got a message through from Irene from the publisher, and she said, we're going to send you a copy of the book. Now, I dithered about that because I had downloaded on my Kindle, I had downloaded the Kindle version, and I'd read the book. One lovely Sunday afternoon, I sat on my patio, and I sat and read the book, and I thought, should I? Anyway, I forgot all about it. Things happened. I forgot all about it. And I read the PDF, and it was lovely. The stories were nice. Everything was nice about it. But this morning, in the post, the book turned up. Whispered messages of love, life, and gratitude. The book is wonderful. The artwork is superb. The contents, as you flick, even just flicking through the book, every page is just perfect. It is just so nice. As you can see on the binder, on the there, it is just such a nice book, a lovely book that has come through. But the added touch, Mertha has signed it personally to me. Isn't that lovely? You see, the extra mile. I will cherish this book. I'd already read the PDF. The PDF is nice, the words are nice, but this is a really lovely book with a very personal message in it. And that's what I mean. It's going that extra mile. It's making an impression on clients and friends and colleagues. And it's something that people will talk about. So, on the other side of this, is there something that you can do with your visibility, with the things that you're doing at the moment, that you could take a look at and think, actually, if I added this, or I signed this, or I made it a little bit more personal, would that engage more people? Would it increase the amount of people seeing me? Would it have an impact on somebody so that they would refer me to somebody else? Or would they become a client? It's something to think about, isn't it? So that was my little story for today. I will be with you same time next week. Yes, same time, same day next week. I will see you in and out of when as we go through the week. No doubt I will. I'll be in there with the others. I wish you all the very best. Have a very lovely week and stay safe. And thank you for joining me again today. Thank you. Bye-bye.